Listen, it doesn't matter if you're black, blue, purple, yellow, or even pink, man. Being from the South, you were guaranteed like a lottery ticket number from that one
Welcome to
gas
the Quickie
station
Mart.
that always has the best luck. You are guaranteed to come in contact with the crabs in the bucket mentality. No, crab in the bucket does not mean seafood, man. I know all bad bitches eat seafood, but nah, this ain't crab du jour. Crab in the bucket mentality is when people try to pull others down instead of helping them succeed. Literally, a motherfucker just being a hater, and it's tied to your DNA. Throughout history, especially being from African descent, most of our history has been blended up and thrown around the world like Dragon Balls and Dragon Ball Z. So assessing information about yourself always leaves you in a dead end. Like, what the fuck? Hey, yo, what the fuck? But there's something called epigenetics. This basically proves that certain personality traits can be passed down by DNA. That means if your great-great-great-grandfather was a motherfucking hater, that shit got passed down to somebody in your immediate family. Shit, it might even be you. Man, the best place to find this crabs in a bucket mentality are in crowded places like school, work, and family functions. These are areas where basically you are not taught to think for yourself. You're taught to move on this rhetoric and be put in a system. And if you are opposed from that system, you have the mother crabs pulling you back, trying to pull you back, keep you in the same environment. Middle school was the prime crab in the bucket mentality. You had hating ass teachers, hating ass principals, hating ass friends, hating ass parents. I want you to understand, hating comes in all shapes and sizes. But I had one of my biggest haters in the form of my assistant principal, who's just a mean old lady, man. Let's just call her Miss Aeropostale, man. I went to a pretty decent school. You know, it was fun at times. I loved it, but there was moments where Miss Aeropostale just couldn't stand my guts, bruh. It's like she would examine me like a Karen. She would find the smallest thing, man. She would look at my shirt, and if the shirt was blue and not navy, she would blow up, erupt like it was the biggest thing in the world. She had this weird crabs in the bucket mentality. It's like she wanted everybody to think the way she thought, and she wanted everybody to move how she moved. So even if you were trying to be yourself, that's not what she wanted. So she would do things to restrict you and ultimately not make you think for yourself. She wanted you to be poisoned by her thought. And it's honestly crazy because a lot of people of power, a lot of people who gain these accesses and have all this access to influence and control do not like people who think for themselves.
Who are you? Really?
Really? I am just a figment of your imagination.
And she stereotyped me. Basically, I was a black kid who was just black, man. I was just having fun. I was just enjoying myself. And every other kid in the school, even when it pertains to race, it didn't matter. We were all kids trying to live, like, just be kids, be the best version of our childlike selves. I was a class clown, so I understand the frustration of some teachers. But if when you looked at my grades, it reflected on what the hard work that I did. And that's the reason why I was able to have fun in class. But there were way more bad kids that got coddled and got complimented and praised for their behavior. And ultimately, it made it feel like if you were if you were on like a better path or on like a good path, you was getting looked at with a negative look. And the people who were destructive and ultimately not thinking for themselves got the pat on the back. But the one thing that can kill a crab in the bucket mentality is a good support system. The one thing that I always compliment my mom on is she was a great support system, man. I know a lot of kids can't or don't feel like they have the safe space to talk to their parents. Maybe their parents move in a specific like strict way. But one thing that my mom did, she had a very open-mindedness and free area approach. She had a free area approach. And honestly, that helped me so much. Definitely being able to just grow up and think for myself and not let some people impose these specific poisonous mindsets on me. And my mom didn't play, man. Like she was always, and at sometimes she would protect me. Not at sometimes, all the time she would protect me. It's like she knew that these people just had it out for me. And honestly, man, like every child deserves a parent that has his back. And one of the things I reflect on is there's always someone with something negative to say. And it's like I said, it's like their DNA. You just have to identify them and look at the person for who they are and understand that you don't have to listen to them. You can take criticism, but understand if it's coming from a good place or if it's coming from a bad place. And if it's coming from a good place, I want you to understand that they are criticizing the action, not you. But a lot of times people are just putting their insecurities on you so they don't have to deal with it. And if that's you, and if you are a crab in a bucket type of person, and if this resonates with you, I want you to be better, man. Be better. Think for yourself. A lot of the things that you're doing, even if you're bullying the specific kid in school, if you're doing all this stuff, if you hate on people for no weird reason, if you have more negative things to say than positive things to say, I want you to understand that that ain't you, bro. That is an environmental thing. You are repeating or regurgitating the things that have been said to you. So if you want to change, you have to be the change. I want you to understand there is a opposite to everything. The same way everyone has the power to pull you down is the same way that everyone has the power to lift you up. You just have to decide what side you are going to be on.